The ruins crackled underfoot, concrete and glass fused into ash-blasted bone. No sun in this quadrant, just the dying glow of a shattered orbital station casting flickers across the collapsed towers. In the hollow belly of what used to be a commerce center, he boiled rainwater laced with powdered broth on a makeshift fuel plate. The room smelled like rust, moss, and metal fatigue. He didn't blink when something shifted outside. Motion, small, deliberate, like the way predators moved when they weren't sure they were the apex anymore. He slid the pot off the heat and picked up the rebar spear he'd fashioned from drone debris. Infrared flash confirmed the shape. Child-sized, crouched under the half-toppled hollow kiosk. Thin limbs. Bony. Not human. It crept closer. Silent steps, bare feet. Filthy, scaled skin. Huge eyes with no whites, only a milky green shimmer. It froze when it saw him standing, weapon low but ready. She didn't run. Didn't speak. Just looked at the soup like it was the first thing she'd seen that wasn't trying to kill her. He waited. 5 seconds. Then 6. The rule was clear. Trust no one, but the hunger in her expression was familiar. He knew it too well. He lowered the spear. Stepped aside. She moved like a shadow spilling across the floor. Hands shaking as she grabbed the edge of the metal bowl, brought it to her lips, and drank without pause. No hesitation. No reaction to the heat. Only focus. When she finished, she didn't thank him. Didn't even look at him. She just set the bowl down gently, curled on the floor like a dying animal, and fell asleep in less than a minute. He sat against the wall, weapon in lap, eyes never leaving her. By dawn, if that's what they still called it, she was gone. No footstep, no noise. Just a blanket missing, and the bowl washed and placed upside down on a crate. He didn't think about it. Couldn't afford to. But 3 nights later, someone gutted a drone 200 meters from his shelter. Clean. Precise. No signs of blast or bullet, just its optic core crushed inward like an eggshell. Another night 2 scavenger mercs vanished. Their boots were still laced. Their spines weren't. He moved to a different shelter. Deeper. Darker. Less exposed. Rerouted power from a buried solar junction, built another fire pit with a thermal masking shroud, and used exactly 1 ration of soup. Didn't know why. That night, the bowl was empty again. This time, the girl didn't sleep. She sat across from him, legs folded. Still didn't speak. Just watched. Like she was trying to memorize every movement. He dropped a cracked comm device near her. Nothing. She didn't touch it. Didn't need it. She left again. On the 4th encounter, she wasn't alone. He didn't see her enter. One moment he was cleaning a laser cell, next she was there, kneeling beside his pack. Beside her, something much taller. Not a silhouette. A presence. The air bent wrong around the figure. Heatless. Soundless. Long limbs. Humanoid. Black armor or skin, impossible to tell. Eyes like low-burning coals and a face too still to be breathing. Hair the color of scorched platinum, falling past shoulders rigid as a predator mid-pounce. He didn't reach for his weapon. Not because he couldn't. Because it wouldn't matter. The girl looked at him. Not pleading. Not scared. Just waiting. The taller figure knelt, no sound, and placed something on the ground. A data slate burned on one corner. Drawing scratched in with what looked like dried blood and soot. 3 shapes. A small one in the middle. 2 larger ones beside it. She turned. So did the girl. Neither looked back. They walked straight into the wall of shadows. Then were gone. He didn't sleep. The next morning, he found a mercenary's remains 2 buildings down. Armor intact. Helmet twisted off. Neck bent at 2 points. A red slash traced along the wall where the body had dragged itself for 3 seconds before dying. He buried the soup pack under rubble. Didn't help. Now they came every 3rd night. Always silent. Always precise. The girl never ate twice. Only once each visit. Then gone. Like she knew the cost of asking too much. Once, she left behind a fragment of tech. Xeno-coded processor with human firmware partially overlaid. He decrypted it. Logs of a failed genetic program. Entries marked Mother Unit 7A. Status, unstable but protective. He didn't decrypt further. Next encounter, he asked nothing. She responded anyway. Why did you give me food? He said nothing. I wasn't supposed to survive. Still, he stayed quiet. She was watching. Always watches. But she didn't kill you. A long pause. She only doesn't kill when I tell her not to. He looked at the shadow at the edge of the room. It hadn't moved, but the fire dimmed. The girl tilted her head. You're not like others. He didn't correct her. You broke a rule. So had she. She reached into her pocket. Pulled out a single data crystal. This used to be mine. My mother deleted it. I copied it back. You can look. He took it. Didn't plug it in. She smiled barely. Then walked out again. That night, a patrol gunship passed overhead. Didn't see him. The next day, it was found in pieces 5 kilometers away. Cockpit untouched. Pilot missing. All systems disabled manually. One heat trace had been recorded leaving the site. Bare feet. He moved camp again. She followed. Only now, she didn't need to speak. He'd wake to find traps reset. Gear organized. Once, even his pulse rifle reassembled with the chamber scrubbed. A gesture. Or a warning. He didn't ask. Until the day he found 3 children, starving, alien, terrified, sheltering near a shattered transport shell. He gave them food, blanket, water. That night, she came back. She looked at the children. Then at him. You keep breaking rules. He said nothing. She doesn't like it. He waited. But she won't stop you. She stepped aside. The mother walked forward. Not quickly. Not slow. Just directly. Until she stood 2 feet away. She extended a hand. Not in greeting. In recognition. He took it. It was ice and thunder and silence all at once. Then she let go. The girl turned to him. She wants to show you something. He didn't move. You saved me. So now you'll see what that means. They walked. All night. Through ruins, through rain. Past drones they didn't bother hiding from. One got close. It blinked. She moved. It didn't blink again. By dawn, they stood before a canyon split in the earth, unmapped, unrecorded. Inside, the remnants of a lab. Human. Old. Marked with logos long since burned from the earth above. Inside, tubes. Cages. Cryopods. Alien and human hybrids. Most dead. Some not quite. The girl stood beside one labeled. Subject, daughter class. Viable. She placed a hand on the cracked glass. This was where she escaped. He looked at the far wall. Deep gouges. Marks. Bullet holes. A handprint burned into the metal. Large, splayed, too wide to be human. He turned. The mother stood with her back to him, watching a bank of flickering holologs. Then she looked at him. No words. But something passed between them. Understanding. History. Blood. Then the girl whispered, "You fed me." She doesn't forget. The lights in the lab dimmed. He didn't ask what came next. He already knew it was too late to walk away. And maybe that was the point. The canyon was gone by morning. Not erased, just hidden. The rock face folded itself shut like a wound sealing over, and if he hadn't seen the scars, he wouldn't have believed it had ever opened. The girl said nothing. The mother vanished into the fog like she always did. He stood alone again, but the silence had weight now, like being observed from 3 different angles. 2 days later, scavenger signals started pinging closer than usual. He caught a burst transmission, encrypted, old dialect, not standard. Words like target, bioretrieval, unknown maternal, and reward tier, sovereign. He packed everything in under 15 minutes and moved 3 kilometers west. Buried his signature. Killed a scout drone. Left the wreck where they could find it, hoping it would redirect them. It didn't. The next squad didn't use machines. 4 mercs, cloaked, tracked on foot, used scent markers and polarized optic. They were good. One almost made it to his shelter. Almost. She found him first. He heard the impact before he saw anything. Not an explosion, just a dull crack, followed by silence. By the time he reached the treeline, 3 bodies were slumped in unnatural positions. The 4th was hanging in a tree with his own tripwire wrapped around his throat. None of them fired a shot. The girl was sitting on a stump, legs crossed, playing with a broken scope. She looked up. She's getting faster. He didn't ask what that meant. Didn't want to. Instead, he said, more will come. They're already coming. Do they know what she is? They know what she was. He looked at the mangled corpses. That's not the same thing. She nodded. Not anymore. That night, she brought a device the size of his palm. Alien tech, slick and humming. She placed it on the ground, tapped once, and a hard light map flickered to life. Not the terrain, but heat signatures. Red blobs moving. Small ones scouting. One large one, a deep violet, stationary. That's her, the girl said. What's that? He asked, pointing to a cluster of signals moving in formation. Hunter pack. 7. Hybrid units. Cloaked. Human. Used to be. He stared. You know what they'll do if they find her. She knows too. She'll kill them. If she has to. She will. Yes, the girl said quietly. She always does. She left again. He didn't try to follow. He didn't sleep either. They hit 2 days later. Not subtle. They wanted to flush her out. EMP pulses first. Took out every powered system in a 600-meter radius. No drones, no eyes. Just boots and blades. He waited in silence. Didn't move. Let them pass over his shelter like fog. One stayed behind. Not for surveillance. For him. Tall. Scarred. Augmented eyes. Hybrid muscle weave flexing under skin graft. No insignia. Just an old Earth tattoo on the forearm, burned and re-inked over with alien glyph. I know you're here, the man said. He didn't answer. She's not your kind. She's not even hers anymore. Still silence. She's just a memory someone weaponized and lost control of. The man stepped closer. We're here to put her down clean. He emerged. No, he said. A second passed. Then they fought. Fast. Brutal. No rules. He stabbed twice, missed. The other clipped his ribs. Sparks flew. The spear cracked. Then he saw the moment, and drove a blade through the man's knee, then into his throat. No sound. The body twitched once, then stilled. He dragged it outside. Left it for her. She found it before dawn. Not the girl. The mother. She looked at the corpse. Then at him. Didn't move. Didn't blink. Then turned away. That was the first time he realized she wasn't trying to protect herself. She was protecting him. He didn't know why. The girl came back hours later. Her voice was sharper now. More certain. You're part of it. He shook his head. You are. You chose. I gave food. That's not all you gave. He didn't argue. She handed him a shard of black crystal. It's her memory core. Why me? She doesn't forget. And she doesn't forgive. What's in it? Everything. He kept it. Didn't open it. Not yet. They moved again. Together. Not traveling like a team. Like parallel entities in orbit. She scouted. He fortified. The girl handled tech, cracked drones, rewired sensors. Silent understanding grew in the empty spaces between them. One night, she said, you could leave. I could. You don't. No. Why? She asked. The girl blinked. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. Another day passed. Another squad came. They didn't get close. Not even a little. He found what was left of them a kilometer out, scattered across the trees. Nothing intact. One helmet placed gently on a branch, visor up. Blood inside. Not a threat. A signature. He studied the mother when she arrived. She stood still, as always. But now, she let him look longer. Her skin, or armor, rippled faintly in the wind. No weapons on her. None visible. None necessary. He finally asked, "Were you made for this?" The girl answered. She was made to kill humans who turned. And now, she chooses who dies. That night, he decrypted the crystal. Flashes, images, audio, scenes of labs, of her strapped to tables, of alien doctors slicing into her without anesthesia, of commands burned into her neural matrix. Orders: kill, obey, adapt, suppress, destroy, then static, then silence, then one file, a baby crying. Not alien, human. She held it, looked down, and didn't kill it. From that point on, her kill orders failed. She broke command. They tried to erase her. She erased them instead. He shut the feed off. Didn't sleep. In the morning, he woke to find her outside. She stood between him and the sunrise. Not blocking it, framing it. For the first time, she moved toward him. Not fast. Not slow. Just forward. She handed him a weapon. Old tech. Human. Custom forged. It was his. He didn't ask how she had it. He just took it. After that, they moved as one. Drones started avoiding them. Patrols skipped their zone. Something in the system flagged the area as quarantined. A warning appeared on a fallen terminal when he booted it up. Black class entity detected. Engagement denied. They were hiding in the open. And it was working. Until the sky split. Orbital presence. Not small. Not local. The girl stood beneath the glow of descending thrusters and said, "They found us." He loaded his rifle. Checked his blade. Said nothing. She looked at him. "We can't stop all of them." "No. But we can make them regret trying." She nodded. "She's already moving." "Where?" "Inside." The command vessel didn't land. It hovered. Deployed 42 drop unit. Mixed class. Hybrid hunters. Genetic suppressors. Null field agents. One landed too close. The girl looked up at it. "You shouldn't have come." Then the machine exploded from the inside. No fire. Just a pop. Then metal raining like dust. The mother stepped from the wreckage. Her eyes glowed, brighter than before. No weapon in her hand. No blood on her. Just motion. One by one, she erased them. He watched through thermal. Not a blur. Not a form. A series of absences. Like gravity folding in on itself. He moved too. Fast. Tactical. Set trap. Used old Earth tech. Ghosted through cover fire and turned it into friendly kills. The girl directed them. Voice in comms. "Right flank. 300 meters. They don't see you." She was wrong. One did. He turned to face it. Too fast. No time. Then it stopped. Choked. Lifted from the ground. She was there. One twist. The forest grew thinner as they crossed into dead ground. Old battlefields rotted in silence. Shattered walkers half buried in black soil. Burned insignias, half alien, half human. Bones fused into armor. Even the wind sounded tired here. The girl walked ahead, steady, confident. Her steps marked no sound. She stopped at a half-collapsed bunker hidden beneath tangled steel and root. He followed without question. Inside, darkness moved before they did. The mother was already there. Flickers of dormant tech lit the walls. Human origin. Military black. Deep War era. He recognized the codes. This was a last stand vault. Human-made to hold out against overwhelming xenoforces. None of the distress signals had ever been answered. Now it was home. The girl activated a terminal. Static shimmered. She tapped a single command. Old data poured through. Logs of resistance cells. Names long gone. Projects scrubbed. One line repeated. "If we cannot outgun them, we outlive them." She turned. This was where they made her. He stepped closer. Ghosts lined the walls in digital memory. She wasn't their first success, the girl said. But she was the last. Images flickered. Failed prototype. Blank-eyed children. Soldiers with spines snapped by their own handlers. And one, tall, quiet, eyes empty until the moment they weren't. Then red. The mother, younger. Less refined. Unleashed. She broke free before they could command her. They tried to hunt her. She hunted back. He studied the entries. She hadn't escaped a lab. She'd walked out of a war zone after killing both sides. The girl leaned against the wall. She wasn't supposed to keep me. She just did. The mother placed a hand gently on the girl's shoulder. Her expression never changed. But the gesture carried weight. Finality. Above them, the sky dimmed. Then hummed. Then howled. A ship entered low orbit. Different signature. Heavy class. Governmental. Not mercenary. He powered up his gear. You said they thought we died. They did. That one didn't. Who is it? Someone who used to own her. He didn't respond. The girl stepped aside. Opened a crate. Inside. Cryobombs, rail charges, signal scramblers, pulse spears, injection kit. He armed quickly. No orders. No planning. Just instinct. She brought him a data shard. They'll hit hard. Fast. With everything. They should. She smiled. The ship dropped beacons. 4. Each the size of a tank. They unfolded midair. Not pods. Gateways. Blink bridges. Troops marched through instantly. Silent, cold, unflinching. Augmented. Hybridized. Full neural sync. They didn't speak. They didn't warn. He moved first. Laid mines at odd intervals. Used terrain to block line of sight. Set the entire forest on fire in 3 minutes. The smoke gave cover. The chaos gave advantage. The mother went straight in. No announcement. No shadow. Just limbs and momentum. The first squad dropped before their systems registered proximity. The second squad adjusted. She adapted. He shot from above, hit weak points, drew fire. The girl overloaded a nearby beacon, redirected its energy into an EMP burst that fried half their HUD. They didn't fall back. Instead, the ship dropped the commander. Not a soldier. A handler. White armor. Emblem on the chest. 7 stars and a chain. He spoke once. Asset 7A, stand down. The mother stopped. Not frozen. Calculating. The girl shouted, don't listen. The command repeated, layered in subharmonic. Mind trigger cadence. Kill code embedded. She turned toward the voice. The man smiled. She remembers. He stepped forward. So did the human. The handler looked amused. Still following it around like a lost dog? He didn't answer. The handler raised a pistol. Old Earth tech. Cerberus model. Close-range vaporizer. He fired. The mother moved. The shot hit nothing. She reappeared behind him. Her hand pierced armor. Then spine. Then chest. She didn't blink. He didn't scream. The girl looked away. The ship panicked. It launched override protocols. The mother didn't stop. She became momentum, muscle, memory, wrath. The human followed her in. Together, they tore through what should have been invincible. He used their arrogance. She used their fear. By the end, the ship burned from its own engines trying to retreat. The girl sat on a ledge, watching the fire eat sky. They won't stop. They should. They won't. He nodded. Then we don't either. The mother stood beside them. She looked down at the ruined armor of the handler. Removed the chain insignia. Crushed it. Dropped it. Then turned. Walked into the ashfall. They followed. Farther into dead zones. Beyond maps. They built nothing permanent. Stayed ahead of the signal web. Never the same path twice. Over time, stories spread. Of a silent ghost who kills war squads. Of a child who rewrites defense grids without touching a console. Of a human who doesn't die and never speaks his name. Some called it myth. Some called it warning. But every patrol learned fast. Leave the lone fires alone. If you see a child and she smiles, run. If the woman is already there, it's too late. And if a faceless man loads a weapon without speaking, the war's already over.